Welcome to a Healthy Living video blog at workoutmaster.com. This is Ruben.
And that is Aram.
Today we're going to talk about fermentation. Let's tear this one apart, Ruben.
You go ahead because I don't know much about the subject.
You know, guys, I love this particular subject. I don't know, something about it that really strikes in the chord with me.
Well, I'm sure that when you were a kid, you ate a lot of fermented food back in Russia.
You know, I remember going to the market, like a farmer market, and the best section, the best smelling section was the section where they would sell pickles and sauerkraut. So I have good memories attached to it.
The best section for you.
For me, yeah. Well, I was like, you know, as a kid, you go by smell, so I slowly would get to the section where they sell sauerkraut.
I got you.
All right, so why is that important to know something about fermentation? There's two particular things that I would want to mention. Number one, it's the best natural way to preserve food. So back in the days, in order for people to keep the food for extended period of time, specifically let's say in a cold places like Russia, where the winter comes in and there's not a lot of source for vegetables, the only way to store things over the winter was to ferment it.
Dude, couldn't you put him outside? It's cold as hell.
Yeah, they will be absolutely frozen, then you have to lick him back to life.
Yeah, but I'll say that comment. But also, if the weather is very warm, I assume that it's a good way to preserve it before they spoil.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's an excellent way to preserve food. Now, right now, companies use a lot of preservatives.
Yes.
In order to preserve food, but back in the days, people needed to preserve food too.
And isn't it interesting that by using preservatives and you actually denaturing the quality of the food, you're actually making the food more of a non-food, more pretty much useless to your body.
Absolutely.
And by using the process of fermentation, you're actually increasing the nutrient content, making it even more nutrient rich for your body.
You're definitely enhancing not only the nutrient, you're actually increasing the flavor.
Enzymes, yeah, absolutely, a bunch of different things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you want to preserve something for a long period of time, you truly, I don't know if that stuff even actually goes bad. At some point, maybe, but you can actually preserve some for a very extended period of time. Now, definitely fermentation.
I'm sure that once you ferment something, it can last for a long time.
Yeah.
Because look, for example, at wine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of drinking bottles from the 1950s, you know, a long time ago, and actually they were actually good. There was nothing that, I mean, quality-wise and stuff like that, it was fantastic stuff, but actually it can last for a long period of time.
Yeah, some things we don't even realize that are fermented. You know, like we consume stuff without realizing what it is. Do you actually know that any chocolate that you eat actually had to be fermented in order for it to taste like chocolate? I think we covered it in the chocolate episode. Now, wine, beer, perfect example of fermented products.
Right. Yogurt.
Vinegar, yogurt, sauerkraut, pickles. All this stuff is a fermented products, and it is exceptionally good. Now, what traditional right now industry right now is doing, that they ferment things, then they destroy things at the same time by pasteurizing it. And putting a lot of more preservatives in already fermented food, or tweaking it to taste like a fermented food, but what they do, they put just some artificial flavor in it so it'll smell like it's been fermented. So really weird. So one of the most important things to know about fermentation, it is a way to preserve your food for a long period of time. Number two, why it's important, when you ferment food, you ferment it generally, well not you, but nature ferments it, with naturally occurring bacteria, which is essential for the life and life force of your digestive tract. So that bacteria is in the air all the time, and when you start fermenting things, it actually takes over and does a process for you.
Right.
When you consume the food, that bacteria ends up being in your digestive tract, hopefully will colonate your digestive tract and create a healthier environment for you to live in.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that is what's very important to know about fermentation. Did you want to add anything to it?
Well, like I said in the subject, I don't know much. I know that the process has been used for millennia. There's records, fossils, they're actually they're not fossils. Let me rephrase that. There's records out there 5,000 years BC that they used to use in Persia and places like that. They have remnants of beer and other cereals and things that they used to ferment for consumption, which I think is very, very interesting. And The one thing that I have in the house, which I haven't bothered to really look at yet, but I should at some point, is a really cool book that teaches you how to ferment all different products, all different nutrients, and it's called Wild Fermentation. I don't remember the author right now, but you can go wrong because the book is like black and fluorescent green, so you can mix it, get it wrong.
Absolutely. Wild Fermentation is a good book.
While I read through it, actually, I thought it was very interesting, and I need to actually take a in-depth look at it and see what I can manage to prepare in the kitchen.
It's actually very interesting, kind of like a project to do at your apartment. You can just get like a crock pot or anything that looks like a crock pot, get a few vegetables and get the things going. You'll be very surprised that you might actually come up with some very delicious products.
I'll buy them for you.
We're gonna actually make sauerkraut at home. I haven't made it in a while, but I do know how to make it. I made it quite a few times. We possibly might start making some sort of episodes where we can show how to make that stuff.
Well, that's true. We want to actually create a small library, not only of exercises to people probably execute them with better form and better technique, but at the same time, we want to bring some of the recipes that we use the most often, such as making broth and different things that we feel is very important for the life of our gut per se, and just share them with you.
Yeah.
It will be a cool library of episodes on cooking and food preparation.
Yeah. If you find a good, well-prepared fermented food, make sure you invest in it. It will be tremendous for your health.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Well, that's all it will be said.
All right, guys. Your future looks better already. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next time.
Take care.